Welcome to Creature Guide Live. For those of you that don't know, my name is Ethan, and let's get into some fun animal news from around the world. Pull up the first set of articles. Okay, here we go. Komu.com. Black bear spotted in Callaway County. I don't know where this is specifically. Hmm. Looks like somewhere further south in the United States. I'm guessing that's a young male, and it's probably sometime in the late spring or early summer. So I'm guessing somewhere around June. This week, Komu 8 viewer Justin Stegman reported seeing this black bear north of Kingdom City in Callaway County, crossing um, US Highway 84. A black bear was spotted crossing the highway in Callaway County. Let's see.
That's 54,
What did I say?
84.
Oh. Crossing US 54 near County Road 147. Missouri's black bear population. Whoa! Okay, I didn't realize we were that far north. I thought we were much further south, like maybe Arkansas region, somewhere in northern Louisiana, possibly. But I guess that's a bit of different habitat compared to what you see in the state of Louisiana. So let's see. Missouri's black bear population has grown in recent years, and sightings have become more common. There are approximately 1,000 black bears in Missouri. That seems a bit low. I saw 1,000 for the population a few years back, like pushing 2020. So unless they had some major reduction, which is always possible, I think it's much higher. Granted, they tend to be situated in the southern part of the state, considering there's much more habitat in that region, such as the Mark Twain National Forest. But that only holds part of the population, with the core of the population concentrated south of the Interstate 44 corridor. According to Nate Barzik, a biologist specializing in black bears and fur bearing game at the Missouri Department of Conservation, bear territory is expanding north of I 44 to the Missouri River. This places the bear sighted in Callaway County at the northern edge of Missouri's expanding black bear range. Oh, okay. So this is one of the individuals that's just simply trying to find habitat or food sources further north, just outside of the core population of black bears in Missouri. So this is fun to see. Let's see. So Barzik said that in most cases where bears are spotted crossing roadways, the bears are able to cross safely. Yeah, they tend to be better, especially compared to deer in many instances. Um, but like it says, however, this isn't always the case. I'd say they're better at judging the road, and they tend to also look both ways. It also tends to be better with mothers and cubs, whereas the males can be a little too arrogant. So Barzik estimates that 8 to 10 bears are struck by vehicles each year. In some cases, the bear escapes with minor injuries. However, Barzik said that in most bear-involved collisions, the bear does not survive. Um, yeah, it's unfortunate. I wonder where this is occurring. Like in Missouri itself, that's quite a few. The conservation department reported that a bear was struck and killed in southern Missouri last month. Ooh, that's sad to hear. But this little guy made it. Black bears, let's see, can have a range of fur colors, including brown, like the bear spotted in
Is
Callaway
his
County.
leg going off to the side as he's running?
Maybe somewhat. Maybe he's trying to take a bit of a turn. Um, it is quite interesting to see that this specific black bear over in Missouri is more of a cinnamon brown bear, cinnamon sort of color for black bears, which is it's interesting because you only tend to see these over in different parts of the western states, and Missouri is over in the southern Midwest. So if you're different areas such as Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, Montana, it can occur over in different parts of Alberta, um, and even over into California. It's not uncommon to see a black bear with a brown fur color, somewhat like a brown bear, but they're quite distinguishable from their overall body shape. So that's it. Okay. Well, let's hope this guy gained a lot more weight and was able to breed. Let's head over to the next article. So, from Sci News, new fossils from West Texas extend known range of Tenontosaurus. So, we're discussing a medium sized species of ornithopod, closely related to the different species of hadrosaur, as well as iguanodontids like iguanodon. So, this individual existed in Texas, Kansas, Colorado around 110 million years ago. So, it coexisted with different species of large theropod dinosaurs as well as smaller carnivorous raptors or dromaeosaurs like Deinonychus. A large species of carnivore that we would be referring to is the species of carnosaur called Acrocanthosaurus. More specifically, it's a member of the Carcharodontosaur lineage. So new fossils. Okay. Paleontologists from the New Mexico Museum of Natural History and Science, the University of Texas at El Paso, and Montana State University have discovered the fossil bones of Tenontosaurus, an early Cretaceous ornithopod dinosaur from North America, in the Yucca Formation in far west Texas, the United States. This southernmost record of a tenontosaur in the western interior is about 400 kilometers east of Arizona records and about 900 kilometers southwest of its records in north central Texas. Yeah, it is quite interesting because I'm thinking, well, I wouldn't say that's the most east we've discovered tenontosaurus because they have been discovered near like the Dallas Fort Worth area, I believe just south of that region, as well as like Acrocanthosaurus footprints. Believe was the other individual Plesiosaurus or Astrodon, referring to the sauropod. One of the sauropods that Acrocanthosaurus might have gone after, though it could be Sauroposeidon. So this is quite interesting. So in this distinct area of West Texas is where there's now evidence for the animal to have existed. Let's see. So this. Oh, let's keep going. Not the best illustration of a Tenontosaurus, but this is its overall body structure. I'm not sure if there's evidence for osteoderms occurring along the spine of these medium-sized
Why does
ornithopods.
that look like a copy of something else? Why do I sound like I'm breaking?
It could be, but I think it's its own distinct drawing. Yeah, so the iguanodontids, they're probably feeding on some of the earliest species of flowers at this point, maybe even certain early species of fruit. But for the most part, they're going after different species of ferns. And this is also one of the first dinosaurs to have quite a complex chewing anatomy inside of its mouth. So let's head back to the article. And yes, these animals could have been both quadrupedal and bipedal, so walking both on four, two, and four legs. So let's see. Tenontosaurus is a genus of iguanodontian ornithopod dinosaurs that lived in North America during the early Cretaceous around 115 million years ago. Two members of the genus are known, Tenontosaurus toledi and Tenontosaurus docii. They had an unusually long, broad tail, which, like its back, was stiffened with a network of bony tendons. That is something about Tenontosaurus that is sometimes overlooked, is that it has one of the largest tails compared to its body size of any species of dinosaur. I mean, an extremely wide back part of the tail, or at least the area connecting to the thigh region or the pelvis region. So that is quite interesting. Why did Tenontosaurus evolve such a large tail compared to its body size, unlike other species of ornithopods? The new Tenontosaurus fossils were collected from the Upper Yucca Formation in the Indio Mountains, approximately 35 kilometers southwest of Van Horn, West Texas. I wasn't out looking for fossils. I was studying the rocks in the area when I noticed fragments weathering out of soft shale. There was no need to excavate. I simply picked them up. It was an unexpected and exciting find. My family even came out with me to help collect the pieces. Dinosaur fossil discoveries in West Texas are rare. Yeah, they're not too common. There's been some more discoveries happening recently, especially with different species of long necked sauropods such as Alamosaurus. But this is far after the Tenontosaurus or the Sauroposeidon. Alamosaurus doesn't show up in the fossil record until somewhere around 69 to 70 million years ago. So probably coexisting with T Rex. Might even have been its food. Let's see. The fossils were found as individual fragments, with the largest identified as part of a femur leg bone, so part of the thigh when referring to the femur. Although incomplete, the fossils have significant scientific value. Before this discovery, the nearest places where similar fossils had been found were Montana, Idaho, Arizona, and other parts of Texas. This discovery extends the known range of Tenontosaurus farther southwest than previously documented. This is also before the western interior sea would have cut North America in half. Not too long beforehand, but this is the early Cretaceous that really doesn't start occurring till the beginning of the late Cretaceous. So just after 100 million years ago. Let's see. This finding shows the Tenontosaurus lived as far as West Texas. Let's see. Until now, fossils of this species were known primarily from localities farther north and east, such as Utah and Wyoming. While the fossil fragments are still being studied, the authors hope the discovery will inspire further exploration in West Texas, a region that remains largely underexplored for dinosaur fossils. This discovery shows that there's still much to learn about our region's prehistoric past. It's a privilege to contribute even a small piece to that bigger story. Yeah, it's good to see that we're getting more early Cretaceous dinosaur fossils out of Texas in general, and as West Texas as well. Considering there are different species of proto mammals that are discovered in Texas, dinosaurs too, but they're just not as common as certain states like Arizona, Colorado, and definitely like Wyoming and Montana. Those are havens for dinosaur fossils, especially when you're referring to the late Jurassic, late Cretaceous, depending on the formation. All right, let's head on to the next article. All right. Oh, something else is going to pop up. Okay, let's see what's going on here.
What did I just watch? Because I didn't pre-watch it.
Oh, he's definitely not happy. If this actually occurred, well, he
Who's he
got
not
out of
happy
the
with though? Did
vehicle.
he honk at him?
That's what oh yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Jeez. Well, that was mean. That fox needs the quail. Think he got a quail or some sort of a grouse. Strange. Okay, so alrighty. From WEC.com, possible mountain lion caught on video in Rochester. Man says he locked eyes with the cat. Well, it definitely doesn't look like a small house cat or a large house cat, even. So, where are we? It says Rochester, New York. Where specifically, though? So there's the shadow in the background. Is there anything else? I wonder if there's going to be like some footage, maybe. Where is it? So I'm guessing that's the area where it was walking. If it is a cougar, now I don't know
This
how
thing loads slow.
I don't know how populated of an area this is. Um, oh wait, I don't think that's a house cat. I th- at least that seemed to be like 100 or 130-pound individual at least. So a little over 60 kilograms. Yeah, you got a cougar in the
I think
region.
that's
And
all the footage.
that's if this is true. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's take another look. Rochester police are continuing to investigate reports of what the DEC says might be a cougar roaming the streets of Rochester. Is this a very populated area? Like just out on the outskirts of New York City? Because if it is, this is quite astonishing. He's probably going after maybe pets in the region. He seems pretty well fed. Leading officers to issue a since lifted order to shelter in place on Robert Street Thursday. Lifted order to
Almost
shelter?
208,000 people, 207.
Yeah, wow. Okay. What's a since lifted order to shelter in place? I don't know.
Wait, you don't know what that is?
No.
It's when you don't leave your house.
Oh, because of a cougar. Jeez. News 10 NBC has obtained doorbell camera video from Stephanie Bice showing the possible cougar and spoke with a man who says he locked eyes with the animal while walking. RPD says they've gotten multiple 911 calls reporting similar sightings throughout the city. Wow. Some people believe they saw a mountain lion. However, police couldn't verify any of the reports. Jasmine Bice, Stephanie's sister, said her mind was blown seeing it in their backyard. Like it was very shocking again. Seeing that because it's just especially at that time of night, like them, you don't see stuff like that out of the blue, and then you're just resting and stuff. You get the notification, you check, you're wondering what it is. Let's see. There's definitely deer on the outskirts of the region. I mean, I'm guessing. I don't think a cougar is just going to be focusing on pets. Might take them out now and then, but it's not going to be its main prey source. RPD ordered people to shelter in place just after midnight Thursday on Robber Street between Joseph and North Clinton Avenues after getting a report of the animal. The sheriff's office used a drone to check backyards but didn't see any signs of a big cat. Curtis Jones says he and other people saw the big cat in that area. All I hear is people running and coming back this way, so I just kept walking, minding my business. I was right across the street and I see the glowing eyes. I'm like, we locked eyes. This is quite interesting. I guess it's not surprising that New York
Somebody's looking for a date.
it's, it's odd. Anyway, um, it's not surprising that cougars are on the outskirts of these different larger populated areas. I think they've gotten somewhat used to these different regions, even especially like over in the east, different parts of California. But there isn't established cougar population, at least that's we know of at the moment, when it comes to the state of New York. In fact, any of that area within the United States. So New York is situated between Vermont, Massachusetts, and then New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. So let's see. Um, do in a statement from the Department of Environment Conservation, they said they visited the area Thursday where the ring video was taken and said the animal appears to be a cougar. They also said, given the location in the city, it is most likely not a wild cat that came here on its own, but rather a possible illegal pet. He seemed a little too relaxed in his movement, or whatever individual cougar this is, to, I just think, be a a captive escapee. So let's see. RPD says the animal is not from Seneca Park Zoo as they checked with the zoo and all animals are accounted for. RPD also said that any rumors that officers found the animal in a backyard on Hutzel Street are false. It also sounds like the cougar is too um he's too I don't know, aware of his surroundings. Or what I mean by that is that he seems to like there's something about his gait that says he already knows the area and he's just not afraid of the people. I just don't see that in a captive cat. Um, let's see. I think it's just being repetitive. I'm just looking real quick. Okay. Well, if it is a wild cougar, great. I hope he gets some deer pretty soon.
Well, we know it's not just a house cat.
Yeah. Even everybody sounds like is even agreeing that this is some mountain lion in the region. So, from moving forward from the globaltimes.cn, dinosaur footprints and fossils discovered in South China reveal ancient Asian biogeographic split. Who do we have here? Certain species of carnosaur, I'm guessing. It seemed to be maybe a relative of the Metracanthosaurs or, well, not Megaraptorid because those are members of the Coelurosaur family. Metracanthosaurs are carnosaurs. Let's go back. A cluster of million-year-old dinosaur footprints representing the southernmost Jurassic carnivore traces in China has been documented in South China's Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region, shedding new light on dinosaur diversity and paleoecology
Why
across
does
southern.
everything from China seem to have Wong in it or Z?
Oh yeah, I don't get it. Those Zhuang, swear Zhuang or Guangxi is a certain province in China. Not sure exactly where. See, Southern Asia. Chinese paleontologist Jing Lida from the Chinese University of Geosciences told the Global Times on Tuesday. The study, published in Earth History and Biodiversity, details 7 theropod footprints preserved on a 4 square meter rock slab discovered at Nanmushin village in Dongxing City, a coastal area near the Baibu Gulf in Guangxi. These are very interesting names. So, unearthed during construction blasting in 2021, the tracks represent Guangxi's first recorded dinosaur footprints in China's southernmost evidence of Jurassic dinosaur activity, led by researchers from the Museum of Natural History in Guangxi, China, University of Geosciences in Beijing, Dinosaur Odyssey Science Museum, University PCL from the France. Maybe it means something else. And Mahasarakam University from the Thailand. From the what's with all these from the France, from the Thailand? I mean, I get it. You would probably it'd probably be proper if it was from the French land or the France land. From the Thailand. I guess that makes sense. You're adding land into it. Okay. The team conducted detailed morphological analysis and 3D scanning in 2023. The footprints reveal two distinct track types. Morphotype A, which is 23 to 26 centimeters long, features, okay, so this is pushing somewhere around 11 inches. Let's see. Features rare four toe impressions alongside typical three toe patterns suggesting soft substrate deformation. The tracks classified as similar to Chongqing Puss. I don't know what specific dinosaur, I think it's a dinosaur this is referring to, indicate a 3.3-meter long carnivore around 10 feet, walking at 1 meter per second, 3.3 feet, belonging to the Ubrontis morphotype tracks. Morphotype B is 47.6 centimeters long. It is poorly preserved, but indicates a much larger predator exceeding 6 meters in length. Okay, so this is somewhere around 20 feet. Not a small individual. So it's coming from the forgot late Jurassic, I think. So, medium-sized carnivore. Comparable in size to Szechuanosaurus from Sichuan Basin. I'm also not familiar with the specific individual. I'm guessing it's some species of Jurassic carnosaur. I'm just going to say Jurassic theropod. It could be a Coelurosaur. Two completely different families of theropod dinosaurs, Coelurosaurs and Carnosaurs. The non-Mushin footprints show striking faunal similarities to late Middle Jurassic dinosaurs in Sichuan Basin. Okay, Middle Jurassic. So this is probably referring to somewhere between 165 to 175 million years ago. This reinforces the existence of a shared dinosaur ecosystem across southern China during this period. The discovery highlights Guangxi's significance as a natural laboratory for Mesozoic paleontology. Over 50 red bed basins across the autonomous region contain dinosaur fossils spanning the Jurassic to Cretaceous regions. Wow, I actually did not know that specifically about Guangxi's province itself, and this is the amount of basins in the region. This is quite extraordinary. For example, the 1963 discovery of Cretaceous ornithischian fossils in Shibu Basin. So this is referring to animals related to Stegosaurus, Triceratops. So the plated dinosaurs, the horned dinosaurs being the Stegosaurs and Ceratopsians. It could also be referring to different species of ornithopods like Iguanodon or Tenontosaurus, and as well like different species of Heterodontosaur, not the long necked sauropods or the therizinosaurs. Those were members of the Saurischian lineage of dinosaurs, despite being herbivores. Almost no predators are found within the ornithischian realm, though it's not necessarily impossible that all of these different herbivores would occasionally be carnivores when they're lacking certain nutrients, since it's continuously seen in different species of herbivores today. So let's see. Critically, the research identifies strong parallels between early Cretaceous dinosaur assemblages and Guangxi's Jilong Formation and Thailand's Kok Kruat and Sao formations. This supports the existence of a distinct southern biogeographic province in late early Cretaceous East Asia, markedly different from northern Chinese fauna. Guangxi's systematic fossil record is unveiling the mysterious dinosaur world of southern Asia and Southeast Asia, with over a dozen confirmed dinosaur fossil sites. That seems a bit low, but maybe it's because we're just talking about southern China specifically, though that's a huge area. That seems a bit low. Each excavation holds potential to rewrite paleontological history. I mean, there are thousands of different dinosaur fossil sites, dinosaurs alone, I believe, around the world. I mean, you have to take into account like different types of prehistoric mammal fossil sites, marine deposits. We're not even referencing the marine reptiles, so maybe I'm slightly exaggerating, but there's quite a few. Well, well, well. Here, wow, that's a very good looking footprint. Are there any others? Maybe. I can't tell. That's possibly. That's, I guess it is. Dinosaur footprint discovered in South China's Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region in 2021. Oh, that's it. Well, glad that these footprints were found. Let's head over to the next article. So, from phys.org, the last spiny dormouse in Europe. I thought there were certain species still around over in Europe, but I guess I'm thinking of another region. So, let's see. Artist depiction of a spiny dormouse in the wetlands of the Hammerschmiede. Inset shows the upper molar. So, this specific specimen right here, so that's a tooth, just 1.4 millimeters long, or uh, somewhere between eighth to an 11th of an inch, and of Neocomedes browanus, which is this specific dormouse right here from Europe, a last member of the rodent family of spiny dormice from Europe. Let's take a deeper look.
Doesn't look like a mouse.
No, it looks like something between like a chipmunk and a flying squirrel. Today, only one species of the spiny dormouse survives in southern India. Very surprising. However, the oldest spiny dormouse in evolutionary history, a member of the rodent family, was found in sediment dating back 17.5 to 13.3 million years ago in Europe. So now, Professor Madeline Bohm of the Senckenberg Center for Human Evolution and Paleoenvironment at the University of Tübingen and Dr. Jerome Prieto of the University of Munich, together with their team, have uncovered evidence of a more recent spiny dormouse in Europe from only 11.6 million years ago. Their discovery in upper molar was found at the Hammerschmiede clay pit in the Augau region of southern Germany. This site became famous worldwide following the discovery of two anthropoid ape species, Danuvius guggenmosi. I'm not familiar with this specific early ape. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time on early apes from the what Miocene epoch. So it's around 11.6 million years ago. This would be the mid Miocene. Let's see. Let's see which walked upright. Okay, and the smallest known anthropoid ape, Bronius manfredschmidti. News of the discovery of the last known spiny dormouse in Europe has been published in the journal Fossil Imprint. Known as the spiny dormouse, this family of rodents, Platycanthomyidae, got its name from the only species still living, the spiny dormouse, Platycanthomus lacyrus of southern India, whose bushy tail looks spiny. I guess you could say that didn't look like the softest tail on Earth. The rarity of the spiny dormouse is explained by its habitat and its unusual way of life. The spiny dormice of southern India, and the only other living subspecies, the Chinese pygmy dormouse, Typhlomice. That's just the genus, but okay. Usually gives the genus, species name, and then the subspecies name. Kind of like if you're looking at the grizzly bear, it's Ursus arctos horribilis, and horribilis gives it the grizzly adjective. So let's see. Lives deep in leaf litter or high up in trees, referring to the Chinese pygmy dormouse, in hard to reach mountainous forests at heights up to more than 3,000 meters, or geez, somewhere between 9 to 11,000 feet. They are also nocturnal. The pygmy dormice found in China and Vietnam are, alongside bats, the only land mammals in the world that use echolocation for orientation. I didn't know that the pygmy dormice used echolocation like the bats. This is quite interesting. Or you could even say dolphins, whales. Let's see. Spiny dormice are also a rarity in the Hammerschmiede location, says Bohm. This is evident from the discovery of the tooth being only one among roughly 5,000 teeth from other rodents that have been found in the clay pit. Wow. There are a wide variety of different types of clay pit formations found in Germany. There is a very famous one, I believe, from the either late Paleocene epoch or early Eocene epoch. So somewhere around 54 to 56 million years ago, where you have different specimens of the earliest prehistoric horses and even different species of, I think, monkey from the time, and something resembling modern day anteaters or um, what's that specifically called? It's an arboreal species of anteater. It's just not name's not hitting me. It lives over in different marshlands and even Amazon's rainforests of Brazil. So let's see. The habitat preserved in the Hammerschmiede lowlands with meandering rivers was certainly not optimal for the spiny dormouse, because European spiny dormice of the Neocometes genus have until now only been found in large numbers in rocky or mountainous habitats, such as the Franconian Alb Mountains or the slopes of the largest Central European stratovolcano, the Vulgasberg. This evidence of the spiny dormouse increases the number of species of vertebrates known from the Hammerschmiede to 158. Wow, that's quite a few species coming in from this specific prehistoric clay pit from the Miocene epoch. The 90 types of mammal include rodents with 27 proven species, making them almost as diverse as the 30 species of carnivores that have been counted. So obviously, this ecosystem is littered with carnivores. To date, it is not known why there is such extraordinarily high biodiversity. However, wow, I don't think I've seen that written in paper before or an article. However, this will be researched in detail within the scope of the Tübingen Cluster of Excellence Terrestrial Geobiosphere Interactions in a Changing World, which was launched in 2026. Okay. Wow. All right. I'm happy for the rodents. Let's head over to the next article. Oh, okay. Something else is popping up. A lot of places that we're mentioning this time. I think mainly the China and Thailand one was a mouthful. But also we had one from India yesterday. Wasn't prehistoric though. It was just the current variety of species of carnivorous cat in the region. Oh, okay. What's going on here? It's a great majestic bull elk. I'm guessing this is over in like Grand Teton National Park, Wyoming, or Yellowstone.
Says Colorado at the bottom.
Oh, that didn't hit me. Could be Montana, Washington, but okay, Colorado. I'm guessing this might be Estes Park. It's just a very famous area for people to view elk. It's adjacent to Rocky Mountain National Park, which I think gets somewhere between 4 and 5 million visitors each year. It's immense. But yeah, I'm guessing this individual is probably weighs around 1,000 pounds or a little over 450 kilograms. And I'm guessing it's somewhere between late September or early October when that's occurring. That's a great bull. And hopefully you got to breed. There's somewhere around 260 to 290,000 elk within the state of Colorado, and most of the population also inhabiting the western part of the state, being most of the Rocky Mountains. Now, you also have it where in the Gunnison National Forest, the White River National Forest, that you have different herds. There's a wide variety of herds in Colorado, and even the Medicine Bow Rote National Forest that also connects part of southern Wyoming with northern Colorado. Okay, well, moving forward from the elk, let's go over to madmillsbakehouse.co.uk. That's a new one. A living fossil for the first time. Divers from France capture rare images of an emblematic species in the waters of Indonesia. Jeez. Well, okay. Okay. Let's see what's going on here.
That's not a real picture. There's no way.
No, but let's see if the description's a bit better. Let's see. The encounter deep beneath the surface of Indonesia's Maluku Islands did not just produce striking images, it opened a rare window on one of the ocean's most mysterious creatures, the coelacanth, a fish once written off as extinct for millions of years. Oh, okay, the coelacanth and also Indonesia. I'd heard of them being spotted off of different parts of South Africa and possibly even Namibia or Mozambique. But this is quite interesting. Let's see, dive into the dark 145 meters down in the Malukas. So what is this? I don't know, 400 feet? Can you look up coelacanth? At least so far, it's not showing any. In October of 2024, French divers Alexis Chapuis and Chapuis, I don't know, and Julien Leblond descended to around 145 meters or 400 feet off the Maluku archipelago in eastern Indonesia. So they were using advanced rebreather systems and specialized suits designed for long, deep technical dives. There he is. I think that's a picture though. I think that's a model of one. That's just the background. Yeah, coelacanths, I don't know approximately the largest. I think they can reach over 11 feet in length. They're pushing a little over 3 meters and probably weigh over 4 to 700 pounds or a little over 300 kilograms. Oh, there's a smaller individual. Yeah, that's about average size of a certain specific species. So I wonder if this is off the coast
None
of South
seem to be
Africa.
that big.
Um, yeah, they've been around for at least what 350 million years. Actually, I might be a bit low on the time zone. Whoa, wow. Okay, that seems to be a bit bigger of an individual, but they've been around, I believe, since the Devonian, so over 380 million years. Wow. Yeah. It's. Hmm. Oh, well. They were using I think I already said that. Okay. For 2 years, Chapu had been poring over charts and sonar data, mapping underwater cliffs and cold updwellings that might harbor coelacanths. The terrain he targeted was steep, fragmented rock riddled with ledges and crevices, a layout similar to known coelacanth habitats in other parts of the ocean. On that October dive, the planning finally paid off. In the beam of their lights, a bulky, dark blue shape emerged above a sponge covered rock outcrop. White spots dusted its flanks like a constellation. The divers knew instantly what they were looking at. It just hit me that they were taking a while to describe whatever they were seeing. Okay, so let's take a deeper look. At 145 meters in one of the least visited corners of the planet, a live Indonesian coelacanth cruised slowly in front of their cameras. They watched the animals for several minutes. The fish did not bolt for cover. It hovered, fins extended, making calm, deliberate movements. The next day, returning to the same depth, they encountered what appears to have been the same individual, identifiable by the unique pattern of white spots on its body. This was not a lucky break or on a tourist excursion. The observation crowned a careful, um, methodical campaign that involved more than 50 dives in one of the most demanding environments accessible to humans. Um, okay, is there anything else? Oh, ugh, okay. Oh, let's head over to the next article. Too bad they didn't show us any footage or pictures. That was weird. There it is. Yeah. Okay. Real quick. What's going on here? So I'm guessing from nclickpetroleagas.com.br, scientists in Australia have created a genetically edited cane toad that gets stuck in the tadpole stage and attacks the plague before it spreads. Um, hmm. I maybe that's an albino cane toad. They tend to be this color. Could you look up cane toad, as in CANE, like a candy cane or sugar cane? So yeah, this individual is a notorious predator over in Australia. Many marsupial individuals fall victim to it because it is a very poisonous frog or toad. Whoa, that's a big individual. I forget they get that large. That is huge.
Says giant.
Yeah, this is a very large individual. That is terrifying. Yes, you do have crocodiles succumbing to these individuals. Yeah. You This is a dangerous fella. They've also become a bit invasive over in Florida, and they're harming also the native wildlife in the region. I think there are other areas where they become invasive too. Yeah, quite large. It's really like I would be more enthusiastic about this individual, but he's harming so many people, as in not primates, but well, not including humans, but I just mean all the other animals.
He's swallowing people's feet.
Yeah, yeah, he's got a big mouth. Okay, let's head over to the article. Let's see what's going on. The strategy uses gene editing to prevent metamorphosis and reduce the next generation of cane toads in critical breeding areas. Australia has begun testing an unusual idea to combat one of the country's most persistent biological invasions, creating tadpoles of the cane toad who have never seen adults. The goal is to cut the problem off at the source before the animals grow, leave the water, and move into new areas, increasing the impact on native wildlife. The proposal is noteworthy because it shifts the focus of control. Instead of targeting adults who have already spread out, the action targets the point where the population begins, the spawning grounds. Spawning grounds. Let's see. The cane toad was brought to Australia in 1935. Oh, I guess I'm forgetting where specifically it's indigenous to. So that explains why having such a problem over there. It's a harmful exotic animal and became one of the country's biggest environmental pests. The cane toad, a species Rhinella marina, it was introduced in Australia in 1935 and spread rapidly through northern regions. The species adapted quickly, encountered few natural barriers, and came to dominant environments where native animals cannot compete on an equal footing. Okay, well, see what else is going on here. Over time, the problem ceased to be isolated and became a constant threat to entire ecosystems. The new strategy attempts to stop the invasion before the adult stage when the frog begins to spread across land. Okay, so this is just the somewhat cycle of the toad. So let's see. Um, Cane toad eggs hatch in tadpoles within a few days. After 3 weeks, they emerge onto land as metamorphs or small frogs and become sexually active adults after about 2 years. The adult stage is what allows the cane toad to move long distances and occupy new territories. The idea behind the project is to prevent this transition, keeping the animal confined to the aquatic environment and reducing the arrival of adults in the natural habitat. In practice, the plan attempts to halt the spread of the pest before it, in quote, jumps out of the water. CRISPR Cas9 steps in to disable the hormonal trigger that transforms tadpoles into frogs. Okay, let's take a deeper look. The technique uses CRISPR-Cas9 to alter a point related to the hormonal control of metamorphosis. The target is the production of thyroxine, a hormone that triggers the transformation of the tadpole into an adult frog. Without this signaling, the animal remains in the aquatic phase and does not complete the cycle that would make it an even more aggressive terrestrial invader. Peter Pan tadpoles remain in the water and can devour eggs of their own species on a larger scale. Oh, yeah, it's very common, especially when they're not being supplementally fed, for tadpoles to consume other tadpoles after a certain point. So they basically get bigger and outcompete the other tadpoles. So those few, basically, those few remaining frogs at the end were eating everybody else. That becomes their main food source. Okay, you don't want to kill this guy. But then by looking at this specific albino cane toad, but then you remember what he is and what he's capable of over in Australia, Florida, and then you want to smush him. So, tadpoles of the cane toad already exhibit cannibalistic behavior, consuming eggs and larvae of the same species. The proposal explores this behavior and seeks to enhance the effect by creating tadpoles that stay in the water longer and continue to consume eggs. There is evidence that they can eat 3 or 4 times more unedited eggs are more common than tadpoles, thus reducing the next generation to its early stages. The biggest challenge of the method is that a tadpole that doesn't grow also doesn't reproduce, and this limits the scale of the project. The key point is that a tadpole that never becomes an adult also never reaches the reproductive stage. This limits the natural production of new individuals with the same modification and creates a bottleneck for scaling up this strategy. Therefore, the project needs to consider how to maintain the method at scale without relying on editing each animal indefinitely. Okay, I think I understand what's going on here. They're just coming up with a way to stop them from breeding, basically, because of how bad they've become over in Australia. Do- do- Okay, that's it. Let's over to the next article. Or okay, something else coming up.
No, it doesn't wanna load.
Oh, that's too bad. Okay, next article from Fizz.org. Austrian cow shows first case of flexible multi-purpose tool use in cattle. This can't be the first, but let's see what it's referring to. Well, this seems like a very cheerful individual.
What is he doing?
Yeah, I think it's a she, but I could be wrong. Let's see. So Veronica resting while using a stick. In 1982, cartoonist Gary Larson published a now iconic Far Side comic titled Cow Tools. In it, a cow stands proudly beside a jumble of bizarre, useless objects that are tools in name only. The joke hinged on a simple assumption: cows are not intelligent enough to make or use tools. Now, this assumption is being challenged by a real cow named Veronica, according to a new study published in Current Biology. This study is the first to describe tool use in a pet cow, suggesting that the cognitive abilities of cattle have been underestimated. Yeah, they'll probably become the next. No, they won't become the next elephants. The findings highlight how assumptions about livestock intelligence may reflect gaps in observation rather than genuine cognitive limits. I mean, obviously, cows are very intelligent. Now, I'm not sure about when it comes to tool use, but definitely when it comes to communicating something that they want from people or what they're trying to express to other members of their own herd or other livestock animals, dogs. So, um, anyway, let's get into this tool use. So the findings highlight how assumptions about livestock intelligence may reflect gaps in observation rather than genuine cognitive limits. Veronica is not farmed for meat or milk. She is a long lived Swiss brown cow who has been kept as a companion animal by Whitger Weigel, an organic farmer and baker with a strong appreciation for animals who regards Veronica as part of the family. Over 10 years ago, Whitger noticed that Veronica would occasionally pick up sticks and use them to scratch herself. Oh. Well, this is rarely seen. They obviously go up to, trees or shrubs and scratch themselves or certain tools that people will bring to their cows and uh it's almost like a back massager. But this which here's the thing, you do need quite a bit of intelligence to know, okay, I need to go to a shrub or a tree or this back scratcher to give me some relief. This though is a much higher level of intelligence. This is I'm going to become an elephant. So let's see. The behavior first came to scientific attention when it was recorded on video and shared with Auersberg. When I saw the footage, it was immediately clear that it was not accidental. This was a meaningful example of tool use in a species that is rarely considered from a cognitive perspective. Auersberg and her colleague Antonio Asuna Mascaro, a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Veterinary Medicine, Vienna, traveled to meet and conduct systematic behavioral tests with Veronica. In a series of controlled trials, they presented a deck brush on the ground in a random orientation. The researchers recorded which end Veronica selected and which body region she targeted. Across repeated sessions, they found that her choices were consistent and functionally appropriate for the body regions she targeted. We show that a cow can engage in genuinely flexible tool use. Veronica is not just using an object to scratch herself, she uses different parts of the same tool for different purposes. And she applies different techniques and depending on the function of the tool and the body region. Oh, she seems positive. Researchers found that Veronica typically prefers the bristled end of a deck brush when scratching broad, firm areas such as her back. Yeah, I would. I would assume so. However, when targeting softer, more sensitive regions of her lower body, she switches to the smooth stick end. Interesting. Yeah. That does make sense too. So,
Oh, I don't think she wants to rub her udders with that brush.
yeah. So that's, yeah, probably what she's doing. In addition, she adjusts how she handles the tool. Veronica's upper body scratching involves wide, forceful movements, while her lower body scratching is slower, more careful, and highly controlled, the researchers say. Hmm, wow. I guess this isn't surprising. It's kind of like having the intelligence to carefully attend to their calf, especially right after they were born. So they're licking them, they're trying to make sure that nobody smushes them, as well as herself. At least for the most when it comes to most cows. So, I guess you could say this isn't really surprising, but I haven't seen this with any other cows. Tool use is defined as the manipulation of an external object to achieve a goal through mechanical means. Researchers found that Veronica's behavior meets this definition and goes a step further, describing it as flexible, multi purpose tool use, meaning that different features of the same object are used to achieve distinct functional outcomes. So, such multi purpose tool use is extraordinarily rare and outside of humans, has previously been documented convincingly only in chimpanzees. I thought, no, I mean, orangutans, gorillas with the different species of gorilla, bonobos, they've all been seen using this, and um, bears as well. Even I think hyenas to a certain extent. Not sure about lions. Okay, so this is where she's carefully scratching her lower body. Because she is using the tool on her own, this represents an egocentric form of tool use, which is generally considered less complex than tool use directed at external objects. At the same time, she faces clear physical constraints, as she must manipulate tools with her mouth. What is striking is how she compensates for these limitations, anticipating the outcome of her actions and adjusting her grip and movements accordingly. Oh, okay, so there's towards the upper thigh region that she's hitting. She has 2 sticks in her mouth. Oh, I didn't notice that. I thought it was just a two-ended stick. That's interesting. So she has very large chopsticks. The findings represent the first documented case of tool use in cattle and the first evidence of flexible, multi-purpose tool use in this species. They also expand the taxonomic range of animals known to possess this capacity. I bet if this is occurring with this cow, this is going to be occurring with other species of bovids as well. So bison, Indian gar over in southern India, as well as Cape Buffalo, um, forest buffalo over in Southeast Asia,
Why do I always
water
think
buffalo,
fish with Indian gar?
fish, Indian gar. Oh, you're thinking of alligator gar.
Okay.
Spelled differently though. GAUR for the mammals, and just JRR, I think, for the fish. But what was I going to say here? I bet if you had this specific individual watch like certain, 90s, 1980s martial art movies where they're fighting with or practicing with the sticks, she would be an even more formidable cow. So um, she would definitely be. I'm not sure what you would call it, but quite well rounded. The researchers note that Veronica's life circumstances may have played an important role in the emergence of this behavior.
A bow staff fighting cow. That's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Most cows do not reach her age, do not live in open and complex environments, and are rarely given the opportunity to interact with a variety of manipulable objects. Um, I'd say maybe dairy cows, not as much as they should, but beef cows, a lot of them, at least in the United States, are out in the open. So let's see. Though, yeah, they don't have access to a lot of tools, depending on where they are. So let's see. Veronica aiming back while resting. So I'm guessing she's also touching her upper thigh area, or at least the back area of her spine. Let's see. Her long lifespan, daily contact with humans, and access to a rich physical landscape likely created favorable conditions for exploratory and innovative behavior. She might have also been watching people that were scratching with I don't know, these sticks. But
Why does it seem like they're drawing out this article?
yeah, it does seem that way. They obviously really like this cow. Let's see. Veronica did not fashion tools like the cow in Gary Larson's cartoon because she selected what? What? Okay. Here's some more pictures. Oh, it's a broom. At least in this instance, and that makes sense. Oh yeah. Okay, so definitely massaging herself with like towards the upper thigh region, and then she switches it. I'm guessing she places the broom down and um then uses that specific area. Well, seems to be a very cheerful individual. Though you might also want to check on the cow. This is also a bit concerning. Scratching a little too much. Though I mean, it's probably fine. I mean, you have those back scratchers that cows just love. Okay, let's see. Let's head over to the next article. Okay, let's see if this works. Oh, it's going on here. Seems to be a capture operation. That's one of those netting tools. Those look like
Ostriches?
no, those look like female bighorn sheep
Oh,
or pronghorn. Maybe that's what they are. Bighorn sheep you tend to see over in like some mountainous region, not in this flat landscape. Yep, they're pronghorn. I think these are ewes or that's a sheep term. What would you call? I guess a doe is probably what you call a pronghorn, despite it being more closely related to giraffes. Pronghorn are giraffoids, not true antelope. So this could be occurring in some part of Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, maybe some part of Montana or Colorado. Could even be New Mexico or some part of Texas.
are they tagging them? Or are they just
That's my guess. They could be relocating them though. Hmm. Oh, that was interesting. Okay. From SciTechDaily.com. Scientists stunned as Hawaiian monk seals reveal hidden underwater language. Whoa. Oh, well, here we go. So, yeah, I think it's an actual picture of two Hawaiian monk seals. So, they definitely meditate a lot. Researchers discovered that Hawaiian monk seals use a surprisingly complex range of underwater sounds, including new call types never documented before. The findings could transform how scientists monitor and protect this endangered species in an increasingly noisy ocean. So monk seals, they're feeding on a wide range of like different species of smaller fish in the ocean. Occasionally they'll go after seabirds and maybe certain species of crustaceans, but they also love feeding on cephalopods like squid. So, a recent study led by the Hawaii Institute of Marine Biology Marine Mammal Research Program is reshaping what scientists know about how Hawaiian monk seals Neomonicus shawanslandi communicate underwater. Published in Royal Society Open Science, the research draws on thousands of hours of passive acoustic recordings and documents 25 different underwater call types. Wow. I didn't realize that the monk seal was this complex in its communication skills. It's quite something. This sharply expands the known vocal range of the species, which previously included all six calls identified from seals living in human care. Wow, that is kind of terrifying. Only six have been recorded in captive individuals. It really makes you wonder. The researchers found that monk seals produce low frequency sounds throughout the day. These vocalizations appeared consistently across the Hawaiian archipelago, and calling activity was highest in locations where seal populations were larger. Together, these findings provide an essential reference point for studying the acoustic environment of one of Hawaii's most endangered and uniquely local species. Interesting. So they seem to be making the same mount throughout the Hawaiian archipelago, and this seems to be a very cheerful monk seal individual. So I'm guessing he looks like, or she looks like they just had a belly full of squid, which I am very proud. We discovered that Hawaiian monk seal is one of the world's most endangered marine mammals. They're far more vocal underwater than previously known. By analyzing over 4,500 hours of recordings from across the Hawaiian archipelago. Geesh, how do you? I'm guessing it goes through a computer system to hear that. We identified more than 23,000 vocalizations. Whoa. Representing at least 25 distinct call types. That is that's a lot of communication. They're talking quite a bit. To reach these conclusions, the team deployed passive acoustic recorders at five important monk seal habitats, ranging from Molokai to the remote northwestern Hawaiian Islands. Their analysis revealed several major discoveries. Expanded vocal repertoire, the study documented 20 call types that had never been recorded before. Novel communication strategy, the data show that monk seals can link different sounds together to form combinational calls, a behavior that has not previously been reported in any pinniped species. So it's referring to by pinnipeds as in the different species of seals and sea lions, and basically sea lions are technically seals. Let's see. Also includes animals like walrus. Researchers identified a new elemental vocalization known as the whine, produced while seals were foraging. This marks only the second known case of a seal species vocalizing during active prey pursuit. We were surprised by the sheer diversity and complexity of monk seal vocalizations, the discovery of combinational calls where seals link multiple call types together suggests a previously unknown level of complexity in pinniped acoustic communication. Finding a new call type, the whine associated with foraging behavior, was also unexpected and suggests that monk seals may use sound not only for mating or socializing, but possibly for foraging purposes as well. I mean, there's quite a variety of different species of mammals. It is surprising that they make funny sounds when eating. It's like they're murmuring to an extent. Okay, so I guess this is the sound recorder, not a seal in sight. So it's the passive acoustic recorder Soundtrap 500 deployed at Kaluapapa, Molokai. Okay, anything else? I think that's it. Yeah, we got it. Okay, that was pretty interesting. Okay, so we. Oh, well, this. Whoa! Oh no! No way! What? He seriously slapping the
I just
hippo?
thought this was funny.
Believe this is a zoo elsewhere. I don't think this is here. Well, um,
My guess is India or Pakistan or something.
he's literally on the ledge. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
It makes you wonder, is this AI?
No, it's. Well, yeah, I
It
definitely don't.
doesn't look like it's hard for the thing to get out of there.
No, it doesn't. He definitely should be in a giant marsh. Okay. Heading to the next one. IFLscience.com. Three critically endangered orangutans successfully rehabilitated and released into the wild. Happy release to Badul, Korwas, and Ahsoka. Oh, there he is. Or she. Maybe it's a she. Looks quite happy. Male orangutans have much wider faces. Let's see. The trio had been learning vital survival skills at a rehabilitation center for years prior to their release. Three critically endangered orangutans, have been successfully released into a national park in Borneo, Indonesia, after they were rescued from tragic circumstances. In preparation for their release, Badul, Korwas, and Ahsoka have been learning how to survive in the wild at Yayasan Ainai Alam Rehabilitasai, Indonesia
Okay, somebody overnamed that place.
Orangutan Rehabilitation Center, with workers helping develop their foraging, ranging, and nest building skills and rebuilding their wild nature, like encouraging them to stay away from people. Badul, a male orangutan, was kept at a visitor's park, far removed from his wild forest life, and had to relearn these vital skills. This process took 8 years, but now he is deemed to have graduated from forest school and is ready to begin his life in the wild once more. Ahsoka was only 5 months old at the time of his rescue. He was living with a family inside their house who were feeding him condensed milk. When he arrived at the rehabilitation center, he needed intensive care to combat the effects of this poor diet, but had managed to make a total recovery. Now, 10 years after he first arrived at the center, he has learned the necessary skills to survive in the wild. Yeah, I bet there's a lot an orangutan could have learned in 10 years. Korwas, a female, was rescued by police from the
Wait,
illegal
how long do
wildlife
they
trade.
live?
I think they can get to at least 40 to 50 years, if not older. She arrived with a fungal and skin infection, but after treatment and demonstrating increasingly wild behaviors, was deemed ready to return to the wild. Oh, there she is. Every orangutan we release has undergone strict and routine health examinations throughout the rehabilitation period. Badul, Koros, and Ahsoka have demonstrated good physical condition, stable health, and behaviors that support successful survival in the wild. The trio, which are Bornean orangutans, Pongo pygmaeus, one of the three species of orangutan. Yeah, they're all within Indonesia. There aren't any orangutan populations within mainland Southeast Asia. Let's see. Underwent medical tests and microchipping before beginning the arduous 3-day trek from the rehabilitation center to the chosen release site, the Bukit Baka Bukit Raya National Park. The local communities of the surrounding area were involved in the release, acting as cage boarders for the animals. I guess one's being carried on this raft. Huh, that strictly is a bamboo raft, too. Okay, let's see. Also, when it comes to orangutans, they're mostly herbivorous, so they're feeding on a wide range of different species of fruits. And occasionally, they will go after smaller monkeys. They will be carnivorous occasionally, going after smaller rodents, maybe even insects from time to time, but they're mostly herbivorous.
I would think they'd be fast enough to go after other monkeys.
Oh yeah, they're quite quick in the trees. So let's see. Wild orangutans. Let's see. Anything else? I think there's one of the individuals. Seems healthy. The team will continue to monitor the trio to ensure they are putting everything they learnt at Forest School to good use in their new wild home. Every orangutan successfully returned to the forest as a result of a long process, rescue, rehabilitation, and routine care by dedicated teams. The release of these three orangutans is not only good news for Yarai, but also for the future of Indonesia's biodiversity. We deeply appreciate the support of BKSDA West Kalimantan, TNBBBR, and the surrounding communities who help ensure that forests remain safe homes for orangutans. Okay, I'm glad to see that the orangutans arrived safely. We will be back in 2 minutes. Um, no, there's still a couple more. Well, that was the end of the orangutan article. Okay, so something else is coming up. Let's see what we have here. Well, this is Kevin Richardson. Somebody else. I think these are male hyenas. Seem a little too small to be females.
And too friendly?
Um, yeah, I would say even with Kevin, the males are much more terms not relaxed, but I guess docile with him. A couple of them can actually be quite shy because they're literally at the bottom of the pecking order. But he also has them separated from the females because you could have where the females might eventually kill them. But yeah, this guy seems to also have a pretty good relationship with his hyenas. It's probably in there consistently. Has to be in there consistently with them. Oh, I remember this. Yeah, it's albino moose. I think it was somewhere in Sweden. Yeah, this is a really healthy individual. I think this was back in like the late 2010s. Yeah, I think this is probably somewhere around late July, early August. It's a very it's a very good set of antlers.
I can't believe his antlers are even white.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't even think it's an albino. I think it's a white moose. And it's a very healthy individual. Probably weighing somewhere around 1,300
He
pounds
has to
at
know he's
most,
being watched.
or 600 kilograms. Yeah, he's probably just not concerned about the people. I think he's just going over to munch on certain willows, which is a common species of plant, that type of plant. There's many species of willows that moose and even elk will feed on. And another one coming up. Okay, it's
It
quite
says
blurry.
baby elephant goes to save a person because they think he can't swim.
Yeah, I remember this too. This took place quite a few years back over in Thailand. I think this is that 200-acre elephant reserve or elephant sanctuary um, over in the country.
I wonder why it's blurry.
Yeah, it was much clearer when was what I saw like way before.
Hold on. Mhm. One more.
Another one coming up. Okay, now let's see what's going on here. There we go. Oh, is she going after a jackal? Oh no. Wow. This is I have not seen this before.
Says mama teaching her kids how to hunt.
Oh, that's unfortunate. We have no idea. Definitely capable of taking on the jackal. Okay, well, let's head back. Okay, so from Kick Petrolier. Oh, one of these real quick. Hmm. Something going over for, or going on in a mountain range. So from clickpetroliergas.com.br, more than 2,000 Mediterranean trout are being released into the central Apennines to revive an entire river. So I believe this is over in Italy. Restore threatened ecological chains, control invasive species, and then transform a forgotten tributary of the Lyre River into a European symbol of the urgent race to recover natural rivers. Whoa. If that's an authentic picture, that's quite a few. So the Romito Stream and the Lari River are driving river restoration in the central Apennines with a historic release that is recovering entire ecosystems. Mediterranean trout return to Romito. Let's see. In Italy, the release of Mediterranean trout into the Romito Stream within the Zampo La Scioppo Regional Reserve aims to restore a tributary of the Lyre River. The hydroelectric dam isolates invasive Atlantic species, while genetic testing, microchips, and planned releases expand the recovery and strengthen the river's food chain. Trout have once again become central to the recovery of waterway in the central Pennies of Italy. Following the release of approximately 2,000 juvenile Mediterranean trout, Salmo gaigi, into the Romito Stream, a tributary of the Lyre River Basin, the initiative takes place within the Zompo Lo Sciopo Regional Reserve, an area of 1,025 hectares, or somewhere around 2,000 acres, and was carried out with support from the Rewilding Appendices team and funding from Rewilding Europe, aiming for direct objective restore native trout populations and to restore the ecological health of the streams. So, what happened at Romito Creek and why did trout become a priority? Are those like the fry? Wonder if these are the trout fry. So, the baby fish. Romito, located in the Lyre Basin, recently received the release of approximately 2,000 juvenile Mediterranean trout. This is quite repetitive. Okay, this is in the region. Okay, so the release of trout took place within the Zompo Lo Sciopo Regional Reserve in the Central Pennies, an area known for the Zompo Lo Sciopo waterfall, which gives the reserve its name. There it is. Well, I bet any brown bears or even wolves in the region will be happy with this replenishing of the trout. Um, uh, uh, okay, let's see. So the chosen section of the Romito River is separated from the main course by a dam that generates hydroelectric power. The structural impact is recognized as dams impair connectivity and the natural functioning of river systems. Oh, this is wait. There's something else going on. Let's see. The decline in Mediterranean trout populations is associated with two factors presented as decisive. Habitat loss and the introduction of Atlantic trout, a non-native species, into almost all Italian rivers. This process reduces the resilience of native trout and creates the risk of crossbreeding and competition. This is precisely why the initiative at Romito places so much emphasis on genetically pure, because the planned restoration depends on protecting local lineages and preventing Atlantic trout from interfering with the new released fish. However, in this case, the same barrier creates a decisive operational advantage. Atlantic trout downstream are unable to migrate upstream to breed with newly released Mediterranean trout. Well, that's good to see, or good to hear. At the same time, the arrangement allows Mediterranean trout to migrate downstream during periods of high water. I think many people, especially over in North America, tend to forget that there are different species of trout over in places like Europe. Let's see, even different species of catfish. Let's see, at the same time, the arrangement allows Mediterranean trout to migrate downstream during periods of high water. Within this logic, the Lyre River gains even more relevance. It is presented as the only river in the Abruzzo region whose basin still contains genetically pure Mediterranean trout populations, which increases the strategic value of the area. Well, Abruzzo, at least what I'm thinking of, Abruzzo National Park, is located over in central Italy. So there's a small brown bear population in the region. The restoration of trout in Romito was structured as a chain process, reflecting the phases of the fish's life cycle and requiring gradual and verifiable interventions. The first operation focused on selecting the best Mediterranean trout for breeding. For this purpose, tissue samples were collected from 80 fish caught in Romito, downstream from the dam for genetic testing. Next, these fish were fitted with implanted microchips, creating individual traceability for management and monitoring. Okay, well, this is really good to see. I tend to forget that they will put microchips in different fish species individuals. Then, suitable adult trout were selected and produced three batches of fertilized eggs, which developed into fry to a local hatchery. The first batch of fingerlings has already been released into Romito, initiating the restocking phase. The presented schedule includes more clear steps. A second release of 500 trout is planned for April of this year. A third release is planned for 2026, consolidating the strategy of increasing the population over time. In the summer, the operation reaches a critical point. All non Mediterranean trout upstream from the dam at Romito will be captured and removed, reducing the chance of crossbreeding in the protected area. Oh, well, that's good to see. I'm guessing you're going to eat them. So, yeah, we don't want these Atlantic trout in this region. And now, what's interesting though, it's not necessarily that. Well, I mean, they are wiping out the Mediterranean trout in the region, but it sounds like they're also breeding with them, which also contributes to their extinction. And in 2027, the team plans a genetic sampling in the same stretch, expecting to observe an increase in the proportion of Mediterranean trout and a significant decrease in Atlantic trout. The release aims to do more than just replenish the number of fish. The goal is to strengthen the food chain and give new life to the ecosystem. Ecological logic is that native trout structure predator prey relationships, influence the dynamics of aquatic invertebrates, connect stream energy to adjacent areas, and signal habitat quality. Um, okay. Anything else? I'm just seeing if I think this is about it. Okay. I'm glad that, well, we're hearing that 2,000 young Mediterranean trout were reintroduced to this region, and the Atlantic trout are going down.
Okay, I have some more. You have to read it.
Homeowners saw on the security camera that a bear was playing on the outdoor swing every day, but couldn't get on. So he had a bigger swing built, and this was the result. Oh, he tried to get on one of the. Whoa! It looks like a cub, or maybe I don't know. He's a 3-year-old. He wants to bring all the swings on board. And now he's just relaxed. He's pretty excited about that. This is real. Okay, I know that in different parts of Thailand there are um different large, like even bigger than this right here, swaths of ducks that are,
It looks like they're going in a circle.
yeah, there are large swaths of ducks that are brought to different rice paddies to munch all the mosquitoes or certain other aquatic insects. But I don't know. There's just something about this. Even sheep don't do that. Ocelot tries to hunt pig who's too fat to care. Uh,
This has cracked me up.
he looked at the camera guy like, I'm just giving him a health checkup.
They have to know each other.
Yeah, that's a young ocelot. That doesn't seem to be a mature one. Okay, well, these two are buddies. I think they are. Okay, from fizz.org. Critically endangered leatherback turtles return to nest in Nicaragua. This is over in Central America, so just south of, a little south of Mexico and north of Panama or north of Colombia, Ecuador, and South America. Leatherback sea turtles can reach over 12 or, well, I guess 1,600 pounds or a little over 750 kilograms. Let's see. For the first time in years, leatherbacks have returned to nest in significant numbers on the Pacific coast of Nicaragua. Well, that's really good to hear. Let's take a deeper look. These gargantuan sea turtles look like behemoths from a bygone age, which makes sense when you realize that they have, in fact, been around since the time of the dinosaurs. I'm not sure about leatherback sea turtles. I do believe they've been around for a while, but not since the late Cretaceous period. In recent decades, however, leatherbacks have been heading for a place in the prehistory books alongside T Rex and other extinct creatures from the Cretaceous period. Um, I don't think they're going extinct. And I'm not saying they're not, they haven't been having certain declines in population, but they're fine. In particular, the dramatic decline of the eastern Pacific leatherback population has been well documented. Since the 1980s, numbers have plummeted by more than 90%. I don't know what that means. What was once a population of many thousands of nesting female leatherbacks has dwindled to mere hundreds, a precarious position for a species facing so many threats to its survival. Okay, I guess they're not fine. I must be thinking of another species of sea turtle. At Fauna and Flora's project sites in Nicaragua, nest numbers have been alarmingly low. Let's see how bad it is. Between 2020 and 2025, we recorded just 33 leatherbacks nests on the beaches that we're monitoring along with our in country partners and local communities. Here is Javier Mojica, president of Fauna and Flora's partner, Cotio Pam. And here's a leatherback, a smaller individual. Huh. Wow. That is a very low amount between 2020 and 2025. That's insane. But I thought he mentioned that there were more. At Veracruz de Acayo, formerly one of the most productive beaches, 5 seasons came and went without a single leatherback nest. And at Salamina Costa Grande, another traditional hotspot, leatherbacks were absent for the past 2 nesting seasons. Whoa, that's not good. Against this stark reality, the discovery and protection of even a single nest is highly significant. Early returning females, every returning female, every egg, and every hatchling represents a vital step towards preventing the disappearance of this iconic species. So, also when it comes to leatherback sea turtles, they tend to feed mostly on different species of cephalopods, especially different types of squid, where they inhabit over in the Pacific Ocean. So let's go a little further down. When the 2025 season began, our teams didn't have high expectations, but they never gave up hope. And now their patience and collective efforts have finally been rewarded. In November 2025, we witnessed the return of the first leatherback to Nicaragua shores. Thanks to excellent coordination with the Grand Pacifica Resort Nursery at Playa San Diego, her nest was found and protected. Wow. That's quite something. All of a sudden, in November, a leatherback showed up. The eggs were carefully excavated and removed to a secure location where they will be kept safe from poaching and predation until they hatch. So preventing people from having um, turtle egg soup or turtle egg. I don't know how you would have turtle egg soup. Turtle egg omelets. At which point, the newly emerged turtles will be
Turtle egg
released.
drop soup.
Oh, right. Okay, that. Uh, yeah, that just sounds mean, and it's coming from a turtle. Let's keep going. At which point, the newly emerged turtles will be released into the sea under cover of darkness. One more clutch of eggs and one more future generation of leatherback turtles has been given a chance. Since that initial discovery, a further 9 leatherback nests have been recorded along Nicaragua's Pacific coast, a timely reminder that there is still hope for the species. This includes 4 nests at Salamina Costa Grande, where we're working closely with our local partner, Cotupam, and crucially, the first nest in 5 years at Veracruz de Acayo. The season is still young, and we hope to protect many more leatherback nests in the coming months. So, this is good to hear. I mean, even though it was already a very low population of turtles that were coming to nest, it dwindled to basically none for 2 years, and now they're coming back. Wonder what spiked that approach. News of the leatherback long overdue return to Nicaragua comes just a few months after we reported the dramatic turnaround in the fortunes of another marine turtle on Fauna and Flora's priority list, the green turtle, which has been officially declared out of danger and relegated to least concern. I didn't think any species of marine turtle would be on least concern. No way. Anyway, while we're encouraged by the number of leatherback nests already recorded this year, the past few seasons have taught us not to take recovery for granted. The eastern Pacific leatherback population will remain vulnerable, more like critically endangered, until it reaches a critical mass capable of withstanding the many threats that sea turtles face. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's just so many issues that the turtles have to battle through, especially trash, including unforeseen setbacks such as extreme weather events. Oh, trust me, that's the least of it. Now, okay, as long as it doesn't negatively affect any of their food stocks, but I'm more concerned about them getting tangled in like rope and plastic. Long term recovery is contingent on the continued implementation of effective conservation measures, not only at leatherback nesting sites, but also in the wider coastal marine habitats that these remarkable reptilian relics from prehistory depend on. I mean, yes, there have been a wide variety of sea turtles from the Cretaceous period, so over 120 million years ago. But also, if you're looking at predators, not including humans, orcas are a bit of a problem when it comes to turtles. They do feed on marine turtles. People are many scientists will leave that out. So, um, okay. Well, a few more interesting footage coming up. Interesting pieces of footage. Okay. Oh, so it's a golden retriever with some otter species. Maybe it's a
I
one
just
of those giant otters from South America. Seems to have a different sort of a body structure and even a coat.
so they know each other, or is it just like the otter came over to play?
Um, I'm guessing they might know each other. He seems a little too comfortable with the dog. Maybe it's an Asian clawed otter, small clawed otter. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
this next one I found hilarious.
Oh no. Okay, somewhere in maybe Indonesia. With these Asian otters, yeah, they bug this orangutan. I think I remember this a little way back.
One more time.
The otters can be quite vicious. I mean, the orangutan can be too, but
He doesn't look like he's trying to hurt him though.
I don't know. It's an orangutan. He probably was. Maybe one of them bit him too. Whoa. Oh, I think it's another species of possum. I don't think it's a North American one.
That's a way to have to carry your kids.
Yeah, she's pretty good at it. Whoa. Oh, it's quite a trek. I wonder where she's headed. There must be quite a supply of sustenance wherever she's going. But she has like somewhere around 8 or 9 kittens on there, or joeys. She's a marsupial, so we could call them joeys. Oh, that was quite a treacherous walk. Okay, so thank you for joining. And from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. This is Creature Guy and Live Daily News. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you love talking about animals, and share this show with everyone you know, because nothing is better than